A very, very good afternoon to one and all present here. I am absolutely delighted to be back. Yes, sorry, but unfortunately, I don't have another quiz. I know a lot of you have been asking us to, have another quiz, do it for students of grades 9, 10, 11, 12, do it for adults. And I promise you, we'll do something very soon. But it took me a little while to recharge batteries and my team too. And we decided to do something that we believe is very important, talk to our expert quizzers, talk to our champions beyond a quizzing platform that we were offering them. This very same time last Sunday, Atulit, Aaryan, and Agastya were involved in a very tense quiz trying to decide who is going to end up in first, second, and third place. To be honest, at that point in time, it was absolutely irrelevant. All of them had already won and reached where they had to. But yes, it was a very tense quiz. It was one of the best moments for SkillSphere education. We do a lot of other things, but I was telling my team that, that entire process of 2 hours in the finals, especially, was one of my proudest moments as the founder managing director of SkillSphere Education. And I would really like to thank all the children for that opportunity. And we are very glad to be telling all of you that this week, this Sunday, that very same time, we have all of them joining us with 3 very special and privileged sets of parents who have brought up such wonderful children to be speaking to us as well. So we are going to be having a small discussion, and the basic objective of this discussion is, of course, to introduce the parents and introduce these children to you beyond the basic quiz, and of course, discuss general knowledge, general awareness, and what everybody can do to enhance it. There are very different ways of doing this, and all these children have different approaches. In fact, what I'd like to tell everybody is that, we went ahead and actually analyzed these kids. It's a part of our entire research process, and I'll share a little bit of our analysis. I on purpose did not do that prior to the session. We actually studied all your answers. We wanted to know what questions you answered, how you answered them across the 4 rounds. And I'll tell you honestly, this is just research we do, not to actually dig into you and, vet you all, but to try and understand the different approaches that children have. So that helps us enhance the quizzes moving forward. Okay. And I promise you, all of you at some point in time have completely destroyed our calculations, our permutations, our strategies as far as quizzing is concerned. Atulit did it in the semi-finals. Agastya did it in the finals. Aaryan also, to an extent, in the quarters and semis, did it to us. So I think you all owe us an apology on a very, very lighter note. But let's actually go on. Today, it's not about me speaking. You've heard me speak for a long time throughout these quizzes. Today, I'm going to give it up to all the children and their parents. Let me introduce all of them firstly to you all. Let's start off with the student from Mansukh Bhai Kothari National School, Pune, who finished in 3rd place during the All India Global Jigyasa Online Inter-School Quiz Contest, Aaryan Jhavar, with his very proud parents, Gopal Jhavar and Archana Jhavar. Sir, ma'am, how Facebook live stream works, just for everybody's reference, is only the person who's speaking is visible. So if you could please say something to start off with.
Hello.
Hello.
Aaryan, say something now, Baba.
Aaryan.
Hello guys, I'm Aaryan Jhavar from Mansukh Bhai Kothari National School. I'm in 7th standard and I like reading books. I like playing football.
This is just for all of those who have not met Aaryan till now. Aaryan, you already have a fan following and people already know most of this about you.
Say something
Okay.
about this.
Okay. Atulit Subramaniam from New Horizon Public School, Bangalore, with his proud parents, Akila Janardhanan and Subramaniam Krishnan. Sir, ma'am, and Atulit, the stage is yours.
Hi.
Hello.
So hello, I'm Atulit. So many of you are watching, you would already know who I am, and these are my very great parents.
All right. That's a wonderful introduction for a child to give for his parents. So I'm very happy with you, Atulit. And then, of course, we have Agastya Trikha, the Master Blaster. And I'll tell you about these monikers that my team came up with in the posters a little later. But yes, Agastya Trikha from Lotus Valley International School, Gurugram, with his proud parents, Arjita Trikha and Prantap Trikha. A very, very good afternoon to all of you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my mom.
All right.
I am Arjita.
Prantap, sir, and Arjita, ma'am. Happy to have all of you on board today. And let's get into the discussion very quickly. So let's start off by really talking about the All India Global Jigyasa Online Inter-School Quiz Contest, your experiences. And in fact, I'd like to go from student and parent set to student and parent set. We'll start off with Aaryan and his parents. I would like to know what do you believe your child has gained out of this quiz contest, and do you believe it was effective in different ways? I'd just like you to share your views. Let's start off with the point that we are all most acquainted with. Aaryan.
Aaryan, two words.
Sir, this was an absolutely excellent quiz. I just loved the way you took the quiz. So, it was too much fun. I learned about handling pressure. I learned general awareness, which was really good.
All right, thank you. Yes, ma'am, sir, if you could just share your views as well as parents.
Yes. I think the way you were conducted was amazing, I think one thing very, very important, I believe, is what has helped him, I believe, how to handle the pressure. Because I think when we were sitting here, it was lots of pressure on us. I can understand. So I can understand all the kids, I believe. So it's an amazing, because these kind of experiences, the pressure handling experiences, it's going to help them a current affairs,
Just one moment. I think sir and ma'am have a slightly unstable connection. No worries. We'll just solve.
Yeah.
Yes. Is this sir, ma'am? Okay, we'll just wait for them to come back. We'll just wait for them to come back. Okay, all right. Atulit, Akila ma'am and Subramaniam sir, would you like to share your views? I'm sure we'll have Aaryan back very soon. Fursan, please help. Yeah.
Okay, sir. I would start off by, really applauding you and your team for creating such a thing, sir. And more than the way we all participated, it was the way how you took the quiz along, sir. How you handled the connectivity issues, and what interesting themes you came up with. And more than just a quiz, it involved strategy, handling pressure, giving careful answers. It was just brilliant, and I think that's all I have to say. It was just too good.
All right. Akila ma'am, Subramaniam sir, would you like to share your views?
So the entire week, initially when he, the first round, we didn't even see it. Actually, he keeps doing his own thing. So he, connected on his own, did his own thing, and then he said he got selected. So it's from the second round that I started seeing, and it was so amazing. It reminded me of BQC. Really, when we were kids, we used to watch BQC, and I was like, so cool. And the finals was, it's like watching a cricket match. Kaun jeetega, kaun karega. It's like so much fun. And the kids handled it so well, appreciating each other, and there was competition, but very healthy, and it was very lovely to watch that.
Absolutely, ma'am. It's been one of the highlights for us is the way the kids have dealt with each other. The camaraderie that a lot of kids developed over the duration of the quiz is something that we are very happy about. In fact, one of the things that, we were going through all the different comments that, parents were making. One of the things that we got back in, the feedback boxes was with regard to Atulit's entire behavior during the semi-finals. He was having really bad connectivity issues. He was literally in and out. But, he was able to maintain his calm and composure. And that life skill is a very important life skill for any child to have, and grade 7, grade 8, he was able to maintain his calm and composure. He disconnected, he connected, answered a question, disconnected, came back. So a lot of people had very kind words to share about Atulit in that regard. Let's move on to Agastya and Arjita ma'am, Prantap sir. Yes, floor is yours.
So the quiz was an amazing journey, and I learned a lot, and I had lots of fun.
And I think, normally you associate a quiz with something being very serious. I think you added a little fun factor to it, which was really, really good.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like I said, it was a journey more than it was a quiz. It was so much fun. There were new topics every time, and I was always excited that what's next.
In fact, he was very nervous when he got selected.
Yeah,
he was not.
He said I'm not going to clear the pre-quarters, and even if I clear the pre-quarters, I don't think I'm reaching the semis. So he got his classes planned in a way that I'm not clearing anything beyond this. Then once he started, because initially there was that fear of I don't know how serious a quiz is, and then once it started, he actually started enjoying the, like he said, journey more than the outcome. So every question, the detail with which you had put facts smart fact into
The
that.
way it was all
Yeah.
tied
Then
with
it
the
then
fun.
it made it fun. Then it was like, I want to do this because now I'm having fun. It wasn't that I am selected, so now I have to go through with it. It just became something that you started owning more than something that's thrust upon you.
So like the double dribble and the
Yeah.
3-pointer
Yeah.
and X, Y, and Z.
And these kids were amazing, all of them. Like you've said it. I mean, Atulit was so kind. They were all so nice. It was like every group that they moved to, they had
Right.
4, or that group became yours, and then you move to the next one, and then you built a very interesting bond with each set.
Like, we don't know each other, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure somewhere inside there's sort of a friendship,
Yeah.
online friendship.
Yeah. He said, oh, I forgot to take Atulit's email ID. I should have done that. These little things like that.
So the morning of finals, Agastya said, Atulit will be first. I'm okay to come second or
Or
third.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah.
Honestly,
And
it really does.
Atulit, both of them were really good in the quiz.
Of course, all of you all were great. All of you children were wonderful. And Agastya, the reason now I'll explain all these monikers. So my team actually, because we make all of these quizzes, we have a habit of analyzing things in and out. Okay, in fact, sometimes people say we just overanalyze things. So we're just studying all of y'all and all your answers. We spent a lot of time studying all of this. And one of the things we realized about you, Agastya, is you have this tendency of relating things in multiple ways. Okay, you have this way of associating things, and there are often occasions when you're probably not sure of the answer, but decently sure of where or how a particular answer should be arrived at. And I think that is a very important skill to develop as a child and as an adult as well. It's very important. You're not always going to know things. You need to be able to stitch things up. In fact, most of the quiz questions, our approach is such that we want children to be able to stitch things up, find the answers. You find one thing, try and find the other stuff. That's where the XYZ logic comes up from. That's where a lot of the other questions come up from. There's a very big difference between general knowledge and general awareness. General knowledge is knowing that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the head of India or the head of the nation. General awareness is understanding what is Prime Minister Modi going to do that is going to impact my life. And at the end of the day, a GK quiz is going to have some facts. It is going to have some information that you have to answer. But, our entire objective is always to try and make sure students are able to build towards the answer, because that's always what's going to help you in life. And that's one thing that we saw you do brilliantly during the finals. It was absolutely brilliant. In fact, that one round, that second round, I pray, Agastya, that every quiz you participate in is like that second round where you literally scored 100 points. So that was really good. And in fact, the way you were connecting different things, your father seeing a match with you and talking about Kapil Dev on something and something else on something else was really, really nice. And what I really appreciated, what my team also appreciates, is that if you didn't know an answer, you were always willing to ask about it. So that's very important, because at the end of the day, a quiz will get over in 15 minutes with just questions and answers if there's nothing more to it. The idea is to keep it engaging for everybody, and it's very important for you as participants to do that. So we really appreciate you having done that. In fact, moving on now, more importantly, I would like to ask all the parents and children, what do you all do actually to enhance your general knowledge? What do you do to enhance your global awareness? I'm sure there's not a single thing. There are multiple things that are done. And I would like you all to share this, because a lot of parents, a lot of students want to know about this. Like, what do you do? Let's start off with Aaryan. Aaryan has been called Captain Cool, and I'll tell you why and where that moniker has come up from. My team and I believe that, you always had this calm persona, never getting flustered from the very beginning to the end. Even when you had an answer, we had no idea that you knew an answer. That answer would just come out of your mouth. Just used to come out of your mouth. And at the end of the answer, you were back to normal. A monster answering something and then sleeping once again. You're absolutely cool. So our team thought you were a lot like Dhoni is in a cricket match, wherein, you don't know what's going on in his head, but when the ball comes, there's a sixer being hit. And we saw this through multiple occasions. I know when I analyzed the entire quiz that there were times when you were ready to tear my hair apart. Okay, because you didn't agree with a couple of decisions of mine. I did analyze that. Okay, but the entire manner in which you went about it is something that I really appreciate. So in fact, Aaryan and your parents, if you could please share, what do you all do as a family to read, build up general awareness? I would be very happy for the rest of the people to listen to.
Sir, I would like to answer this question. Since childhood, he was very fond of reading. I think he was 1.5 or 2 years old. I used to bring books and just flip the pages and used to show him pictures. And he showed the interest. And as he showed interest in topics, I used to bring the books and expose him to that. And that is the work which I did. The rest of everything is here. Credit goes to him only. He's so much fond of reading, especially countries and flags. I just bought a book and gave him picture atlas, and he learned the whole book. When he was very young, I think he was 7 or 8 years old, he got the interest in studying about countries and all. And actually, teaching Aaryan is not a big deal. Actually, just give him the information and he learns, and he tries to find out more information about it. That's
I guess he has that global Jigyasa. He has that.
Yeah, he has that Jigyasa. Truly,
Right.
truly.
So Aaryan Baba, tell us what do you read? What do you read? What are the different things you read? How do you go about this? Do you actually read quiz books? Do you take out a Derek O'Brien quiz book and do you read it, or do you actually study through things, or do you just read for the fun of it, which is what I think you should be doing?
So actually, I read encyclopedias.
Okay, you read encyclopedias, and what do you read online? How do you spend your time online? Very important question.
So Wikipedia and the 21-day quiz I did, weekly quizzes and all those.
Okay, you did the SkillSphere 21-day quizzes. All right. Yes. Anything else you'd like to add, Aaryan? So what do you do on Wikipedia typically? Because I'm trying to actually get into those specifics. It's very easy to go on Wikipedia, type India, and then read about Wikipedia. Do you keep clicking from link to link to link to link as you keep reading on
Yes,
Wikipedia?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, is that something that you do? So in fact, I'd like to tell all our viewers that's something, it's a very interesting thing. See, if you want to build up your awareness, it's not limited to one topic. You should be able to build on that from one topic to another topic to another topic. So clicking on Wikipedia back then at your age was also my favorite pastime. I used to love doing that. I used to love clicking and going from link to link to link. So I think that's a good thing. So Aaryan reads encyclopedias. He likes to read about different things. How do you keep abreast with what's happening in the world on a daily basis, Aaryan? Do you read the papers, any apps, or what?
Yes, sir. Actually, I read papers. Like mainly we have those school NI papers, but like in the holidays, so I just read the newspapers which come at my house.
All right. So you read the newspapers. Okay. And also, when we're talking about newspapers, do you just read the first page and the last page, or how do you go about this?
So I read what I feel is interesting.
I'm glad. That's a very smart answer. Okay, let's pose this question. Yes, let's pose this question to Atulit.
Okay. So, sir, actually, there's no TV in my house, so I read just for fun. It's like a pastime for me. I love reading it, and actually, I'm not choosy about what books I read. You give me any book, I just read it. So that's how I ended up, collecting so much knowledge here and there, this and that, such a mix. So I got to know a lot of things, and my parents have been encouraging that. So hats off to them.
I would like to add a few things. As he said, I think maybe around a year after Atulit was born, we somehow decided to give up on cable TV and TV altogether. So for many years, we have not had a TV, and some people used to think that that's going to deprive us of the general knowledge. And here's a classic example that just because you don't have a TV and cable at home doesn't mean that you are disconnected from world. And that has kind of allowed all of us to have a lot of time on us, which we can use for doing things like reading. So Atulit is into reading, and I have been reading, even though our tastes are pretty different. I read more spiritual, psychology, and those kind of books. He reads, as he said, he reads everything. So right from mythology to science to encyclopedias to current affairs. So that's one thing we did, and I think that's paying us well. And I still believe that that's a good thing to kind of not have a TV or rather spend too much time watching TV. Second is, we don't personally believe more in knowledge, but more on curiosity. So knowledge is one thing, but curiosity is more fundamental, and trying to encourage curiosity in children, I think that pays off more in the longer run, and providing them means to fulfill their own curiosity rather than making them depending on us. So there are a number of times Atulit asked me questions where I'm totally clueless and on a range of topics, and I encourage him to go and ask Google Auntie for answers and not me because I don't know. And I mean, providing them the means wherein they not only feel okay about being curious, but also have a means to find the answers to their curiosity and kind of feed themselves rather than being dependent on a parent or a set of people. And third thing is, I don't think if many people know this, but I'm not aware of Atulit having participated in any quiz before this. So it was the first time he has participated in a quiz, be it online or in person. And I'm actually zapped by what he has done. So it's actually been a learning experience for me as well as a parent as to you really don't know what your kids' potential are. And I mean, this again, classic proof right in front of me, because when he wanted to participate, I wanted him to do it so that he feels engaged and feels less bored because of all this lockdown stuff. You don't get to do other things. So I said, okay, whatever makes you happy, do that. But honestly, I had zero expectation, not because of his potential, but I never knew this side of him. And thanks to you and thanks to this quiz, I have learned a lot about my own kid. And now I'm trying to think how else I can enable him and help him kind of progress further on this path. So thanks a lot for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. In fact, sir shared such an interesting point, which I would like to, shed a little bit of light on. He talked about the utilization of media. Now, Atulit's family is a very interesting case where there has never been a cable TV since the time Atulit was born, or just a little after that. Well, in no way has that necessarily, we're not talking about it being a good thing or a bad thing. That's a totally different argument altogether. But what I'd like to state is that, in no way does it seem to have inhibited or cut down the level of knowledge that he's been able to gain about different things. It's not really the media, but the utilization of media that's important. For example, it's very easy probably tell children, this is the answer or that is the answer. Sir also shared a very interesting point about how if he does not know something, Atulit is pointed in the direction of Google to try and find more about it. So those are certain interesting tips which I believe are going to help every child and every adult. Now, of course, to the Master Blaster, Agastya. Yes, go ahead.
So I love the quiz, like I said before, and if it's about knowledge, it's mainly because of the number of books I read. And like Atulit said, I love reading. Just like he does, I can read any book. So I got most of my facts in this book.
Mm-hmm. History of India by Roshan Dalal, all right. Uh-huh.
Yes, sir. And I go to the internet and search random stuff, and just before the quiz, I thought of stuff which I might want to know, like presidents of different countries, and Google that. And then on Wikipedia, there was that table, and there were so many links, and I kept clicking on them. In the 21 days quiz, every answer had an explanation leading to the explanation led to a link. So those links, and it was amazing.
Right. In fact,
and my Masi, who lives in Bangalore, she's a social activist. So, for example, the Karl Marx question, Marxist philosophy, those discussions with her, and her friend is an author, Bijal Machrajani. So, books from her and knowledge. It was.
So he's more of a, other than reading, he's also a huge nature warrior. So whether it's plants or animals, and so it's, from what I've heard from the other people, it's pretty much the same. The children are all the same. You have to feed their curiosity. You have to give them means to satiate that hunger and keep that hunger alive. That's it. Right. You have to want to know. You have figured it out. He didn't know all the answers. You have to be able to correlate. Power of correlation.
Connect the dots.
Just connect the dots. It's so important to be able to say, I heard this somewhere. He didn't know Das Kapital exactly, but he knew capitalism and he knew Marxism, and he knew there is some connect, and it has to be something which is not very hidden or obtuse, because and he's also never been in a quiz in his life, so he didn't know what to expect. Debates, yes, a lot of writing, yes, but never a quiz. So it's just and you have to use social media wisely. You have to use the internet wisely. Television, we have a television, but there's restricted time, whether it's between my husband and me or him. We don't, the television is not on through the day. The new, our news doesn't come from the television. It comes from other sources. So it's not that, unless there is a cricket match which has to play throughout the day, it's not on. So you have to give them the means, and you have to keep the hunger alive. That's it.
And these days you have to be careful how much of the newspaper also can they really see with the kind of news being published in the newspaper.
Absolutely.
So you have to kind of channelize all that also.
In fact, thank you so much, Arjita ma'am and Prantap sir, for sharing that. We have got such interesting pointers from each set of students and parents. So what Prantap sir and Arjita ma'am are talking about is, once again, how media needs to be utilized. Prantap sir came up with a very important point, which I'd like to shed some more light on. It's not about reading the newspaper. a lot of us think that by giving the child a newspaper, the child is keeping abreast with what's happening across the world. We talked about this a little during the quiz as well. Unfortunately, it's difficult to find a source of news which is absolutely unbiased, number one. And number two, which is actually serving the purpose of general knowledge, current affairs, and global awareness today. Okay, there will be sections of them, but pointing students in the right direction is something that is very important. With respect to Agastya and Atulit, two interesting cases. In fact, let's confirm this. Aaryan, is this your first quiz as well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the three winners have never participated in a quiz, by the way. Yes, Atulit?
Sir, so actually I wanted to share something like when I saw that this quiz is going to be held by SkillSphere, I just typed SkillSphere on Google and your website came up. So it's such an interesting website, and like in that week, sir, I used to go through any random article which was there, and it was so interesting. Like, thank you so much for that, especially that Pandora's box section. I mean, the stuff which I've never even heard about, and it's so interesting. I mean, I used to read random stuff and research more if I could, and it was like too much fun. So thank you so much, sir.
That's one thing about Atulit is that if he gets an interest in something, then he tries every little thing to get to know more about it.
Right. In fact, all of you, we were joking about it. I'll just tell our viewers what this is about. I never mentioned it in the quiz as well. If you go to skillsphere.org, we have a section on it called Global Jigyasa. Under the section called Global Jigyasa, my team and I over the past 6-8 years have developed a range of articles about different countries of the world, about 100, 120 easy to read articles about countries of the world, states of India. It's not updated because it takes a lot of time to update this. Pandora's box has different articles about different global issues. So this is just like a source among many to read about different issues across the world and get to know more about them. So I'm very happy that the students have read through this. In fact, I was joking around with my team that at the end of this quiz, I don't know whether I'll be able to come up with another quiz, because what's happened is that every week, in fact, today also we have launched our weekly current affairs quiz, and I had launched this thing called the lockdown set. So I didn't expect the lockdown to extend beyond the first 21 days. And unfortunately, I was quite mistaken. So we came up with a 21-day lockdown quiz. Every day we had 10 general knowledge or general awareness questions, call it what you want. These kids went through every one of those questions. That was 210 questions right there, and all our earlier questions. I honestly don't know. It's going to be a very mammoth task for us actually to come up with a new quiz. But yeah, these are different sources of information. And Agastya, in fact, mentioned it also in the finals. Yeah. Honestly, I do not even remember that there was a question that we had used in the lockdown quiz that's come again. But, these kids had literally vetted us more than we can ever vet them. So it's something that definitely I hope has helped them in the long run. The quiz is at the end of the day a means. Even the quiz is just a means. At the end of the day, the end objective is for everybody to be able to enhance their general knowledge and awareness. So all sets of parents have talked about interesting things in this regard that I would like to just summarize. Number one, it's very important to PK the interest of the child, to push the child in a correct direction. For example, going on to Wikipedia, just click from link to link to link. You learn about so many things. At the end of the day, as parents or as teachers or even as a newspaper, there are only so many topics that we know about that we can tell our children about. There are so many things beyond what we know that they need to find out about, and that's only going to happen with exploration. And that's going to happen with discussions which take place at home. For example, Arjita ma'am also talked about how Agastya is a nature lover, likes to read different things. He has an aunt who also helps him with discussions related to socialism, communism, and the works. And Atulit's parents also talked about different discussions. So did Aaryan's parents. So these discussions are very important. Allowing children to explore and utilize media in the correct way is very important. Pointing them in the right direction is important. And just allowing them to read as much as possible is always going to help. At the end of the day, what I'd like to tell you is that, when we talk about quizzes, today I'm a quiz master and I've developed a quiz based on my understanding of general knowledge and awareness. Tomorrow you go to somebody else, you'll have a totally different take on it. So at the end of the day, none of us really matter. What really matters is your child actually continuously learning and growing into a more evolved individual. When you go to college, for example, you're going to meet a lot of people who are going to have a lot of discussions. I think your victory is not going to be in winning one quiz contest, which is of course great. Your victory is going to be in the fact that you're able to engage in discussions with different sets of people. That's really what general knowledge and awareness is about. In fact, moving on, I'd like to now start off with Agastya and his parents. This is a very, very contentious question that often comes in. It's with respect to the use of social media. So today, like it or not, yes, there's an Instagram, there's a Twitter, there's a Facebook, there's WhatsApp more than anything else. And all of these modes of social media are students of grade 6, 7, and 8 know how to use better than we do. Most of them at least. So is it a good thing or a bad thing? And if it is a bad thing, how can we make it a good thing? Because yes, social media is important. Arjita ma'am was mentioning that. Could you please shed some light on this? We'd like to know your views on this.
Personally, Agastya doesn't own a phone. And I don't
intend to. Media for a long time.
I don't intend to get one.
That's very neat.
Friends have.
A lot of them have. They have their Instagram accounts. They have their WhatsApp accounts. They have all that.
Right.
I use social media only for work.
Right.
Beyond that, it's just it's a necessity for work because it's the outreach that it creates is far more than what I can create otherwise. And he's also now. I mean, I guess it also becomes if I'm constantly on my phone, then he's tempted to do that, right? But if you're not, it's what they observe and pick up. He's never felt the need for it. He's never asked me for it. If he needs something, he uses the tools that I have. Whether it is, researching for his music or his classes or information, that's all shared through me. Maybe it's a very strong opinion, but I think we do have a very strong opinion about not.
We limit his screen time.
It's not, you will give up on doing things which are so much more constructive because I would rather build interpersonal relations. At this age, they need friends who they connect with one-on-one. What's the point of having 500 friends or followers? That kick of saying I got so many likes on my YouTube channel, but
social gratification.
What does it translate to?
Even when I take a break, moms, and I switch on the TV to watch something on YouTube or anything, just because I'm taking a break, mom's like, why are you doing that? Go finish the book you were reading.
Right. So that's.
I got a lot of reactions, and I think everyone relates to that.
We do.
I really appreciate that's a very neat thing. I remember my mom doing that growing up as well. So it's a very, very neat thing.
And he's a big Harry Potter fan, which he hasn't disclosed as yet.
Oh, huge Harry.
Oh, me too.
That's neat. That's neat. All right. Yes. Atulit? Atulit?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Akila ma'am.
Actually, it's amazing that we all are very similar because I have very strict rules regarding social media usage. Or he doesn't have a phone. Some of his friends do, and I think that's one of the fights that we have about when we do. Because and so again, Atulit, only thing he was allowed was to have his own Gmail account. And even uska password mujhe pata hai. So, there's so.
Maybe the social media, I think again, it's similar to what we talked about a little earlier, that it's all about how you intend to use it and what's your fundamental motive and intention there. I think that's what matters. You cannot just judge something as good or bad. It all comes down to what you want to do with it. And I have seen both extremes wherein there was a time, like personally, I was away from all kinds of social media and never used it. And then the other extreme wherein I use it and I get so much useful input, like be it LinkedIn in terms of very relevant technical posts that I get to read and in my feeds, and that helps me in my day-to-day work, and even in social media book recommendations, because at the end of the day, there's only so much and then there are so many other people who are reading. So I mean, how do you crowdsource their knowledge and their awareness unless you engage with them through some means? And not everything can be physical. But having said that, I don't think it can be a substitute for real person-to-person interaction and personal exchange of personal bonds. So I think the key, the answer lies in a proper balance and not this way or that way.
Absolutely. That's so true. That's so true. Two different and very interesting takes. Both of them are on the same lines. And we'd like to also hear Gopal sir and Archana ma'am's views on this.
Yeah, I think he's only having the Gmail account. We haven't given him he don't have his own personal phone. And regarding social media, I think it could be a boon also, it could be a bane also. Because if you spend too much of time, it could happen that what happens is like, it becomes more of a time pass, I believe. But right now, because of this lockdown, I'm also working from home actually. So sometimes he sit with me and I'm on LinkedIn. So he asks those questions, what's the use of LinkedIn? What's the use of Facebook? Because I think Facebook also makes a connection also, it gives an immense opportunity to connect with people whom we could not connect actually directly right now. And it just happens, So it all comes down, how do we want to use it? That's very important. I think that's what we try to inculcate that he should understand, how to use it, and you should use it only when it's necessary, actually, isn't it? So that's what we are trying to do it. But it's like, and like if you go for gaming also, he's also into too much of gaming, online gaming. So you got some time slot for him, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. But I think it also helps because he's right now working on his own channel, actually, YouTube channel, on gaming channel, actually. He's working on that thing. So I think kids also get ideas, how you could improve on these things. He talks about improving the games also. And one of my younger brother is a software engineer who resides in US. They have a constant talk on all this thing, how good things could be improved in the gaming also. So it just, how do you use it? That's what I believe it, it's going to help it. We cannot control it, I believe, but it's important. We need to make them understand how we can use it properly. That's the one thing I think we need to inculcate in these kids. That's what I believe, actually.
Thank you so much, Gopal. So in fact, we have got 3 takes. And if I'm to summarize, of course, Atulit and Agastya have very limited to no social media interaction at all. Primarily, of course, there is a lot of other exposure, but both sets of parents do believe that it's important for children to have direct human-to-human interaction as far as possible and use their time more productively as far as this is concerned. And I'm sure this is something that a lot of parents would agree with. In case of Aaryan too, it is very limited in nature. And the parents are trying to channelize the usage of media in correct directions. At the end of the day, it really comes down to how you utilize something. In fact, I'd like to also shed light on the entire aspect of news on Facebook and WhatsApp. A lot of parents, a lot of teachers, a lot of students often ask me, there's a lot of news on WhatsApp. Don't you think that's helping the kids? I do not believe it's really helping the kids because we need to actually explain to kids the difference between news and fake news. And unfortunately, as adults, we are often not able to decipher this. So it's very difficult for children to do so. So news that somebody reads on Facebook or WhatsApp is not always going to be news. In fact, more times than not, it isn't. So I do agree with all of you. In fact, I would like to also ask everybody one more question. A question that came our way. I have a couple of more questions. Firstly, what are you all doing with your children during the lockdown? We'll start off with Atulit this time. Atulit, what are you doing during the lockdown? And Akila and Akila ma'am, Subramaniam sir, how are you pushing him to do different things? Because yes, it is a challenging time at the end of the day. No kid likes to stay at home for so long. And as much as we like it or not, the human interaction is very limited. So what are we really doing? Yes.
Okay. So, sir, actually something really interesting. Okay. So, I do not have my own computer and I had one which was very old and we just gave it away. So, my dad, to substitute for that, like just before this lockdown, I mean, we knew that it is going to eventually go into a lockdown. So, he ordered something called a Raspberry Pi. So, it can be used as a computer, but not, like you cannot see videos or do stuff like that. But also my dad helped me do a lot of programming on that, like if you know Python and Scratch and stuff like that. So that is one of my biggest highlights during this lockdown time. I have learned about that, and my dad also got me a book about all that, and I really enjoyed doing it. And that was one of my best times.
And Atulit also learned cooking. So I think the lockdown's been a great time for everybody to learn the household chores and the cooking and the cleaning, and I think it's amazing because in general it is very difficult to teach children and get them involved in everything. Now everybody pitches in more happily and they've learned doing that. So certain skills that have happened because of this lockdown are things that I'll always be thankful for.
And sir, one more thing. Actually, before this, I did not understand my mother's pain. During this lockdown time, I have done jhadu, pocha, bartan, anything you name, I have done it. And now I know how much my mother struggles, and I really, really, really value her.
All right, I think this is one of the reasons we love Atulit. Let me be honest with it. I think that should really summarize my feeling about what he's saying. Agastya, yes, go ahead, ma'am, sir. Yes.
Normal बोलते हैं, ठीक बोलना नहीं.
He was making a list of what he's been doing.
Agastya has been really busy in the lockdown, and I must say he's very happy also because both of us are at home.
Yeah.
We get to spend full time
But
with him.
don't get it wrong. There are loads of casualties that I would love to meet my friends not on Zoom, but I'm actually spending more time with my parents than I would have ever done. I spend whole days with them.
Right.
And they're working at home, and every time my dad's an architect, so every time he's making a drawing, I peek over his shoulder and I'm like, can you teach me how to make that draft? And then
Right.
mom's baking, or she's making new designs, and she works in the garment industry too, so I keep asking her that how do you bake, and then we made tons of cakes, and my birthday passed in
We've
the
been putting on
lockdown.
weight because we've been eating.
I have not. I exercise every morning.
So it's mostly been a lot of reading. The classes are going on. So interestingly, the whole world is shifted online. From his guitar class to his music class to his art class, everything is online, including basketball fitness class, if you please. So everything is happening online. That takes up a lot of time. Schools also, I think, have really, I mean, they've been brilliant in trying to shift to this format, but there is a lot of stuff that they need to do on their own as well. So that is, and like we discussed before, these are children, there is a new topic they learn in school, they'll want to research and know a little more about it. So, that takes up a lot of time. He's into writing, so he does his writing. He's trying to work on a blog right now. And pitching in around the house, basically pitching in and the day is done. We're just happy being together. And we figured that we tried to make him watch old Hindi movies because that's something that they'll never come to, right? So we made this list of old Hindi movies and we try and finish one movie across 2 days because we don't get that window to finish one movie a day. We try and finish one movie across 2-3 days. We've introduced him to Sanjeev Kumar and a whole lot of the oldies.
That's great to hear. That's really neat. Aaryan?
Aaryan, come on.
So actually, I read books. Actually, I just read 4 to 5 books, and
Unfortunately, Aaryan is having a few network connectivity issues. We'll actually.
I played PS4.
I am so sorry.
Something
Okay, Aaryan, we're just going to have to wait for a second. Aaryan,
He's allowed to play PS4 twice and he's
We'll just wait for your connection to stabilize. We'll come back to you on this question. We'll just come back to you because your voice is actually breaking through. Don't worry. We'll wait for a couple of minutes and we'll come back to you on this question. In the meanwhile, what I'd like to ask Agastya and Atulit is, how much of credit, of course, a lot of credit goes to your school teachers. We have not had a discussion about the school and the school teachers as yet. How much of credit would you give them and what do you believe has their role been in this whole process? Agastya, if you could start off. I do know Anita ma'am as well at personal levels. I do know how supportive Lotus Valley International is in general. And I know the entire process via which there was a little bit of a delay in the entire mail process. It probably, with all these mails coming in, everything moving online, the mail probably got lost in the entire inbox. And then Samyukta ma'am, if I'm not Sancheta ma'am, if I'm not mistaken, gave me a call and said, we have to participate. Sorry, we're a little late. And literally, this was on Saturday and the quiz was starting on Monday. She said that, I won't really have too much time to prepare my kids, but, I really need to get them to participate. And she was really proactive about it from that point onwards. Could you tell me? Yes, Agastya, go ahead. Lotus Valley International School, one of the best schools in Gurgaon. Yes.
Of course, they selected me, and that was really good because there are lots of kids in my grade in my school who I know are very bright.
Right.
And so, there were lots of pieces of knowledge which I gathered from classes which teachers gave, and I used to go for a heritage club with Sanchayata ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the answers I got from there. Then my SST teacher Swati Tyagi ma'am and my science teacher, which you met, Like now Tina ma'am and Aarti ma'am, there were lots of teachers involved, and lots of knowledge came from them, of course, because they're school. And many teachers, they don't, many of my teachers, they don't just tell me stuff from inside the curriculum. They give us topics to research on, and they tell us extra stuff which I love to Google. I come back, and every time I come back home, or now I come back from my room, and every time there's something new to research about, and the knowledge, it comes from them and from my family. So,
and they also have a general knowledge club in their school.
Right.
I think it's more about helping them, because CBSE curriculum is a very, you know how it is, it's within very strict lines. So especially with subjects like science or social studies, the teachers, if they're dynamic enough, that's how you gather all that you gather that's going around.
And also the fact that I got selected is very interesting, because there's this special club in our school called Quiz Club, and I've never been in that club.
Okay, that's quite neat. All right. So, in fact, if I'm to just take a small takeaway from this entire discussion, what I'd like to tell you is being a part of a quiz club, or being a regular quizzer, or for that matter, reading through all of these quiz books is not a recipe for absolute success. It's not, one of those watertight, absolutely foolproof recipes. It really needs continuous interactions among parents, children, teachers, and the works for it to work out, These are not quizzers, and I don't really know what a quizzer is. I have never understood what a quizzer is. I don't know how to define that terminology. I've been a quizzer through my life, participating in different quizzes, but not one quiz was the same. So I really don't know how that works. You really can't be a quizzer. A lot of people who quiz will probably hate me for saying this, but there's nothing like a quizzer. Okay. Yes, Atulit, yes, go ahead.
Okay,
School.
so actually,
And I know, in fact, I'd like to New Horizon Public School, Indranagar in Bangalore. Agastya, go ahead. You want to say something before we go on to Atulit?
Also, so if there's ever a quiz in the future, you would also, I'm not sure I can say teacher, but a great quiz master, and you've taught me a lot.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you, Agastya. Atulit, in fact, before you speak, New Horizon Public School, Indranagar, Bangalore is one of our dearest. We conduct a range of soft skill development programs focusing on public speaking, communication, and other 21st century skills. General knowledge is just one of them. New Horizon Public School is one of the most supportive schools. So I'd really like to thank your school for that. Shanti ma'am and Anupama ma'am. My deputy Riya is in touch because she's based out of Bangalore. But I know your school. It's a very kind school. It's one of those schools that really, like Lotus Valley, really tries to, or Mansukh by Kothari National School, we've gotten in touch in recent times. They really try and promote, a lot of participation from the children. So go ahead, Atulit.
Very supportive, sir, and I always enjoy going to school rather than, just I have to go to school. And so one very interesting thing as to how I got selected. Just like Agastya, there are many other bright students. So actually, SkillSphere had conducted an Enlightenment program in my school, right? So Shanti ma'am this time I believe was determined to select 3 people who have never participated in a quiz and who are from the Enlightenment program, because there are always the same old faces showing up for quizzes, I believe.
All right. Okay, that's very neat. Okay, thank you so much. And Aaryan, in fact, Varsha ma'am came all the way to this finals along with 3 other teachers from Mansukh Bhai to wish you the very best. I thought that was a very kind gesture. Would you like to share something that your school has done?
Yes, sir. Actually, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly, Aaryan. Go ahead, and you can address the earlier question as well. Both. Yes.
Yes, sir. So actually, like my maths teacher and science teacher, they always help me also teach the main subject and also get out of the main thing. So if I ask my math teacher even something that is way out curriculum, she'll always explain me.
All right. So in fact, these are schools where the teachers go beyond the basic realms of a CBSE or an ICSE curriculum. That is definitely helping the students a lot more. And I do know these schools, I do know the teachers, and kudos goes out to them, just like to the parents, for ensuring that these children are on the right track.
Really, I would like to say a few things about Atulit's school.
Yes,
So
yes.
I mean, it's very easy to compare his experience as to what my experience was when I used to go to school. So I used to wait for Saturdays and Sundays, and this guy waits for a Monday, and that itself is a surprising thing for me. He just loves his school and his teachers, and I have seen him interact. I mean, I go to some of the PTM parent teacher meetings, and one thing I find amazing is how much the teachers give children space to express themselves. I mean, the way he engages with the teachers, talks to them, that speaks volumes about how much they believe in empowering the children and giving them space to actually honestly interact at a very fundamental level. Whereas if sometimes I compare my own experience, we used to be scared of all authority figures, all teachers, all principals. I mean, if they're coming this side, not that we used to do something wrong, but that fear always used to be there. Whereas I don't know how they magically create this sense of connect with the teachers. And it's not one odd case. I see that as a pattern. So I really believe that school and teachers are doing something really great if children get to express themselves like that and experience school in such an empowering way.
Thank you so much, sir. Before we end, yes, sir.
I would like to add, like
Yes.
teacher's topic was going on. Because, Aaryan handwriting is like, it's impossible to read, to be frankly. He knows it. And whenever we go to parent teachers meet, I just don't understand. I ask teachers, how you give him marks? Because he's like, if it's a paper is for 2 hours, he'll finish it in 45 minutes. And other 1 hour, he will go to that reading corner and start reading the books. So these teachers, put so much effort. They like, they're telling you are a very bright child. You know to improve the handwriting, but they check the paper, and they take 3 times more to check his paper. So it's great. I must compliment the teachers and principal. So putting so much efforts in the children. Isn't it?
Thank you so much. In fact, before we end this session, a very important thing that I left for the very end, sirs and ma'ams, if you could please introduce what you do as well. A lot of our viewers would also be very curious to know about the basic background of the family. So, Agastya, if you could please start off, sir and ma'am.
Okay, so we live the.
You're going to say what you do?
Yes, Arjita ma'am, go ahead.
I was an IT professional until 7 years ago.
Right.
When I quit, I started my own cake studio. So basically, it's a very simple philosophy. It's just called honesty. So it's pure ingredients, no artificial, nothing. So that's what I do in my cake studio. And I started a range of garments with my friends, basically organic, handmade, fair trade, working with artisans. So yes, just honesty. That's pretty much the bottom line of what I do.
Right. So very, very creative fields. Yes, Prantap, sir.
I'm an architect. I have my own consultancy. I'm a partner in that. And we do a lot of interior jobs also. We basically work in the hospitality sector and retail. So we design a lot of restaurants, we do salons. Other than that, we are also in the hospitality industrial section. So we've done factories for Haldiram, Pepsi, Coke, things like that. So, but because of the lockdown, everything has come to a halt, and we keep missing your quizzes now. That's what kept us entertained.
So those were the drawings that Agastya was speaking to us about.
Yes, sir. The drafts of how will this salon look once it's built.
Great. So we have an architect specializing in the hospitality industry, among other places, along with a former IT professional who's gone on to explore many creative realms, a cake studio, which focuses on organic baking, if I'm not mistaken, and also a lot of work with craftsmen and artisans. That's really the background of the parents of Agastya. Atulit, Akila ma'am and Subramaniam sir, please go ahead.
So, I have a food blog called Morphe and Me, and I actually love baking. So it's really amazing. Every time Agastya and his mom talk, it's like literally like me and Atulit talking, So like we both love Harry Potter, and it's just so I don't have so I love baking, and I spend a lot of time sharing on my Facebook page about my recipes. And I also love traveling, so I took up photography because of that. So I love sharing travel stories. So these are little things that I do from home. So yeah, that's about me.
Yes, sir.
Now that Akila has drawn a comparison to Agastya's mom, I'll have to draw a comparison to his dad also. So I'm an architect, but I'm a software architect basically. I work for Citrix And Citrix is into virtualization. So I mean, these days people might know it because they help people with work from home and work remotely, work from anywhere and access your desktops and apps from wherever you are. So I'm basically an IT professional. Otherwise, like I am interested in reading, in cooking, in traveling along with Akila, and sometimes my own individual travels as well. And we had 3 kids actually. So Atulit is the eldest one. We have 2 more, and right now they are busy watching some cartoons on the mobile.
Sorry, Agastya, you were saying?
He saw his bunk beds in the background during his quizzes.
Oh.
So that's what I do.
All right, thank you. So we have an IT professional working in the software architecture realm, along with a food blogger who's also very interested in photography and creative fields, if I might really say so, for Atulit's mother. Aaryan and his parents, please do the honors.
I am into pharmaceutical manufacturing, training and exports actually.
All right, all right.
Yeah. We do contract manufacturing and exports to West Africa and Southeast Asia, in fact. Yes.
All right.
And as a family, I think we are a reading family actually. We all love reading books actually.
So I think that's something that's absolutely uniform. Yes, ma'am, you were saying something. I'm sorry.
No. Continue. Please continue, sir.
Yes, go ahead, ma'am, please.
I am a homemaker. I used to take classes for children, especially mathematics classes. But as of now, I have discontinued everything so that I can give quality time to children. I believe instead of teaching 10 children outside and my children going somewhere else and learning from other teachers, it's better I teach them. I give them time. That is it.
All right. No, I really appreciate that. That's also a very proud profession. I keep telling my mother was also a homemaker for a large part of her life, and she's really spent a lot of time on us, and we're very proud of her. I think she's the most qualified professional at home. So that's often what we say. And yes, so basically Aaryan's father is into the pharmaceutical sector, and mom has conducted tuitions in the past and now ensures the overall upbringing as a wonderful homemaker. And of course, everybody is a homemaker at the end of the day, and very happy that I've gotten an opportunity to get to know where these children are coming from to such a great extent. Thank you so much for having made the time on a Sunday afternoon to speak to us and to allow our viewers we're going to put this up on YouTube as well. In fact, for everybody, we got a lot of requests to actually convert the quiz into a YouTube season. So we're converting it into season 1 of the All India Global Jigyasa Quiz Contest. There's 27 episodes running all the way up to the finals. My team is actually working on it. So we are doing this, and this will be the 28th episode. My team often jokes, they watch all of these different Netflix shows. This is the behind the scenes. This is the behind the scenes episode that we have just shot with all of you. So thank you so much for that. And before we part with our Facebook live stream and all our viewers, thank you so much for joining us. I would like everybody to say something to our viewers and in general. Let's start off Agastya and his parents, Arjita ma'am and Prantap sir. Thank you so much for being such wonderful sports, and anything you'd like to say before we end the stream.
Thank you. Thank you for having us here. Thank you for, giving the children the opportunity to be here. I really don't know what else to say. It's been a fantastic journey, and honestly a fantastic journey. You've got so many people together. Like I said, you've built a family of your own. This is, look at these kids, now their parents. We've met so many people. We've learned so much. And in the process of them learning, we forget. There are so many times you forget to learn outside of what your work is. We've learned so much during these last week and the week before that it's been amazing. So please keep doing the good work that you do. Get more people, spread more joy, and keep the knowledge running and the hunger going.
And also for everyone who's viewing this, watching this, they've learned a lot, and I'm pretty sure that they know that. And I know that it would have been as exciting as it was for us to watch the quizzes. Like, it would have been the Born Vita quiz with Derek O'Brien, like who's going to win, the tension.
Yeah. And we entered into this quiz as a regular quiz, but I feel you can make a great connect with your viewers, which is a very, very positive thing. You made a great connect, and I think you leave Derek O'Brien much behind.
Definitely. I completely agree with that.
Very kind of
Sorry
you.
for him if he's watching this. I'm pretty sure he's going to be in sometime because he's going to be everywhere.
Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Very kind words coming from all of you. Thank you so much. Yes, Atulit, Akila ma'am and Subramaniam sir.
Thank you so much for this, because I think, Agastya's parents said, it was a great way to meet new people, and the children, of course, they enjoyed the whole journey of the quizzes and the excitement and everything. We loved watching them, and it's so nice now that we're all in lockdown mein ghar pe, we're not meeting new people. I'm so happy that I spend the Sunday afternoon like this. It's just so wonderful.
I'm glad to hear.
As I said, this is not just about knowledge, right? That maintaining that sense of wonderment and maintaining the sense of curiosity and kind of feeding it with new things. So I think that's what you're doing. And one more thing I would like to call is lockdown has its own set of challenges, but then the way people are making use of that to do creative stuff, which otherwise would not have happened. So I mean, that's the right way to look at life. That given whatever is there in front of you, how best you can make use of it, and what something new you can create from that situation. So you're one classic example of how something new can come up during a situation like this. I think that's what all of us need to do more of. Thanks a lot for the great work you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, Aaryan and Gopal sir and Archana ma'am.
Sir, I would like to tell you, this lockdown will get over after some time, but the 7 days which we spent with you, they will be marked as a star week. Actually, this is a thing which we'll remember for a very, very long time to come. This is the best week we have spent in the lockdown, and we were on our toes, and the hangover did not go very soon. Actually, we could not forget this thing. You gave a very great experience both to children and to parents also, I believe. It's the best time spent.
Thank you so much.
Yes. I would like to add, actually we were discussing that what we will remember about the lockdown. And I think the only one thing we remember still now is this 1 week actually. And hats off to you for conducting an amazing quiz. I think these kids, I think looking at him and other kids, I believe you have developed some curiosity, to know about more things, and hats off for you actually. And thank you so much for that. Yes,
you were the best quiz master, sir.
Yes,
the way you could connect and encourage the children was simply fabulous.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you so
We
much.
have one for the adults also.
Very true.
Thank you so much. Yes, Agastya wants to say something. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sorry if I'm interrupting, but
No, don't worry. This is a cool conversation, Agastya, and I love it when you speak. Even during the quiz, my team was asking me whether they should send you a message sometimes. In the finals, you were asking me questions about some of the answers. Once the answers came out, we overextended time by about an hour. Okay. The quiz was supposed to get over at 1:45 at max. We got done by about 2:30, I think. So they're asking me whether they should tell you to stop asking these extra questions and ask me after the quiz. I told them that would be the most nonsensical thing to do, because the child is actually asking us questions and our objective is to make sure people know as much as possible. So I'm very happy. You just speak as much as you want. You have the floor. Go ahead, Ash.
I was saying that during the quizzes, at least the ones which I attended, you mentioned that you had 2 dreams. I'm sure you would have had more. One is that you wanted to increase global Jigyasa, and the other was you wanted to visit the Hornbill Festival. So I'm not sure about the Hornbill Festival, but at least the 105 people who participated in the quiz and everyone who's watching this, their global Jigyasa would have grown a lot. And I mean, this is mainly to thank you, because in ours there's a lot more curiosity to learn more, and we've learned so much more which we want to learn more about.
No, I'm glad. Thank you so much, Agastya. It means a lot. Very kind words. Thank you so much. Atulit, yes, go ahead. You can also speak. Give your expert analysis.
Actually, you had a question.
Yes, Atulit.
How did that expert analyst come up?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did not address that. I addressed the Captain Cool and Master Blaster monikers. I didn't talk about your expert analyst. Agastya, whenever you answer, honestly, I'm sure a lot of the viewers who have seen you for an entire week and some of the parents here would also know where that basic, fun name has come up for you from. But it's basically your entire method of answering a question. If I ask you, Agastya, how are you feeling today? Mr. Utek, sir, I am feeling a little nervous, but I'm also feeling very, very excited. It's always, a well thought out answer for the simplest of things, a very well thought out answer, very mature answer, always coming in, looking at everything from all perspectives possible. That's the reason I also told you, Agastya, you'd be a great commentator, because you know how to analyze things. You're not really talking about it. It's not, an immediate answer. Sometimes when you had to answer a question as well, we were checking the recordings, you'd say, sir, I have a feeling that this is the answer. I have a feeling. so that's where the expert analyst comes up from for you. Because, those feelings are very, very good feelings. I hope you have those feelings for life. The feelings seem to be pointing you in the right direction. Right. So with that, I would like to bid adieu to everybody who's watching the Facebook live stream. This will be available. It will be recorded and put up on our YouTube channel as well. Thank you so very much, Akila ma'am and Subramaniam sir and Atulit from New Horizon Public School, Bangalore. Wonderful parents, a wonderful family with an expert analyst in the making or already made. Gopal sir, Gopal Zanvar and Archana Javar, and Aaryan Javar from Mansukh Bhai Kotari National School, Pune. Pune happens to be my favorite city. I am from Mumbai. Of course, Mumbai is my favorite city, but Pune, because I've spent so much of time with all the schools in Pune, and
You're always welcome to Pune, sir.
Yeah, yes.
I've spent so much of time.
You.
Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. In fact, I've spent so much time in my developmental years, 21, 22, 23, visiting schools in Pune. So I have a very, very soft corner for the city and everything about it and the entire education scene. It truly is the Oxford of the East. It truly is that. So thank you so much for joining us, sharing your views, and Captain Cool for keeping his cool in spite of not agreeing with some of my decisions. I know those. We can talk about them later. I know those. I have analyzed those. I wouldn't go back on them, but I have analyzed those, Aaryan. We'll talk about them someday. And of course, finally, Agastya, the Master Blaster, along with his parents, Arjita Trikha and Prantap Trikha, a very creative family, a family which is trying to encourage all forms of reading, all forms of curiosity for Agastya. Wonderful setup within Lotus Valley International School, Gurgaon for Agastya as well. And he's really done his parents and all of us proud. And as I said during the quiz, for all of these kids, it really doesn't matter where they ended up for me. I'm very happy. At the end of the day, it was a very prestigious quiz, 35 schools, 105 students from 15 different cities, and some of the best schools at that. And, when we actually envisaged this quiz, we just wanted to experiment with it. This experimentation slowly and steadily, resulted in one of the biggest quizzes of its kind. In fact, the biggest online quiz ever that has been organized for students of grade 6 to 8 in India and probably in general. So we never realized that this would ever end up happening. We were just trying to do our own thing. And it turned out to be very great. But as I say, it's not really about them finishing off in first, second, or third place. This was a result of the entire process. It's the way that they have been brought up. Thank you so much. I hope to be a parent like you all have been to your children. And, the child, Agastya, Atulit, Aaryan at all points in time, being so magnanimous, being so modest, being so humble, being so smart, of course. But of course, all the other life skills which are going to hold them in good stead. I'm sure that you're a role models for a lot of people who are watching. And I'm sure that a lot of people will try and borrow some of the tips that you all have given with respect to general knowledge and general awareness, which is going to hold the kids in good stead. As I said, the objective is not to win a quiz contest. The objective is to be able to express educated opinions on a range of different issues that are spoken about as these children grow up. So thank you very much for that. And in fact, before we sign off, this is actually the last recording with respect to the first edition of the All India Global Jigyasa Quiz Contest. I'm not going to give you a date for the second edition. We have been bombarded with the requests for it, but I need time. Probably by July is when we'll come up with a second edition. We'll probably come up with one for grades 9 to 12 as well, and for adults. In fact, I am shocked that more than children, of course, all the children are after our lives and all the schools are after our lives, but adults are after our lives more than children. They want an adult Global Jigyasa Quiz Contest. It's going to take us some doing. So give us some time to figure this out. And
it has to be easy, but I couldn't do the 21-day quiz. I just couldn't do it.
All right,
the quiz for children was so tough for us. Can't imagine the adult how it is going to be.
One of the principals of one of my favorite principals from a school in Raipur said that there was this Shah Rukh Khan show called Kya Aap Panchvi Paas Se Tez Hain?
Yes.
And he told me that this entire quiz gave him a complex Kids gave him a complex and he got the feeling of that. But yeah, that was on a lighter note. In fact, I'm very excited to tell all of you that the quiz has been viewed by almost 25,000 individuals up to now. Reached out to over 100,000 individuals, and we're very happy with all of this. At the end of the day, we want people to be able to see different things. And in fact, there are a couple of people who have actually come down to me, a couple of colleagues, couple of seniors from very noted concerns, who actually want to have an interaction with these children, the finalists especially. There's one set of people who actually works for Goldman Sachs, the vice chairperson of Goldman Sachs, who's actually talked to me about this. There's somebody else, they just want to have an interaction and see if they can help these children in any way. So we are trying to figure out how to streamline that process, and we'll get back to you very soon. We're also going to Amazon allowing us, or Flipkart allowing us very soon. You're going to get a set of books that are close to my heart. I'm going to be sending the same set of books to all of you. Those are the books that I read, and I hope you all are able to enjoy them as well. And beyond that, I guess, thank you so very much. It's been a wonderful, gratifying, and enlightening experience for me. And I'd just like to thank everybody. Thank you on behalf of my team, SkillSphere Education in Mumbai. In fact, we are all across India now, my team, but thank you so much from us. And we hope to take this forward. And we look forward to, of course, refining skills, defining futures, which is our motto, and spreading global Jigyasa. And these three students have really helped us. These three parents have really helped us. So thank you so much. Stay home, stay safe, and stay enlightened. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye-bye. We're going to end the stream now.